Swaddy crap to gone. Welcome back to Idea Studio. I'm Dana.
I'm Jip.
As always, this is our weekend live stream. We jump on Sundays and rock with you guys. Talk about what we got going on at Idea Studio, our different projects, my projects, Jib's projects, everything in between, and what's been going on in Thailand for the past week. And fortunately, so far, we have never had a dull week. There's always something ridiculous going on.
That's it?
Just about. And we got a great list of topics for today, but I want to start, jump into our Friday night because that was interesting. Would you agree it was interesting?
Yes.
Yeah. So I've talked before. I've got my neighbor is from Japan. Nice guy. Very kind of like classic salaryman. Is that what you would say?
But he ride motorcycle. I
Yeah.
think that's different from salaryman in Japan that they will take train to work. How Joe catch 5 more minutes? Yeah.
So I think he moved here specifically because he was like very interested in being in riding motorcycles, right? So he moved here for that reason. Moved to Thailand for that. But he very much lives in that kind of salaryman mentality. He's got his own YouTube channel as well. It's got like 20 subscribers. It's all in Japanese, but him riding motorcycles around Bangkok with excessive amounts of speed. With his, he's got a 750.
I think he cannot do this in Japan.
No, he's got a 750cc Yamaha GSX, and he commutes like 900 meters to his office every day on this GSX. So interesting guy. But anyway, we had made plans to all hang out. He lives with his Thai girlfriend, and we had made plans to all hang out on Friday night. And I said, I'll bring a bottle of Jack Daniels over. We can have some Jack and Coke and eat some food. So the night started.
He like to grill, like with charcoal.
Real quick, before we get too deep into this, because this is going to get deep, I want to jump in the chat. Of course, we had Joe here 5 hours prior to the stream starting. Joe, thank you. Good to see you back. Sorry for everything you're going through, brother, but glad to have you back on the chat with us. Nikki popping in. Seth, what's going on, brother? I saw your messages. We'll chat soon. Smoke Def, what's up, man? How you doing? Good to see everyone. Thank you for coming. So let's talk about real quick. So we go over.
Wait, will you watch this live?
What's that? No, maybe, but it's okay.
If you hear, say something, neighbor.
Yeah, neighbor. If you're around, throw something in the chat. Uncle Craig, what's up? Out on the Bangkok. So, anyway, so we're hanging with the Japanese neighbor. I tell him, "Oh, Eric, what's up? People popping in. What's going on, Eric? Good to see you.
You guys come for like a good time.
Good story.
Yeah, for a good story.
So, I tell him like, hey, I'll bring a bottle of Jack Daniels over, and let's just hang out. We grill a little bit because he grills on this charcoal grill he's got in his driveway. So the night starts out kind of strange. I pick up the Jack Daniels. He's at Macro. He's like, oh, I grabbed some Coke. We'll have Jack and Coke. I grabbed some food to grill. I'm like, oh, awesome.
Oh, sausage is nice.
Yeah, those.
What's your brand?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they look good. And we
Alright.
grilled shrimp. I mean, on his little charcoal grill.
Shrimp.
And I was like, oh, we'll do it here or there. It doesn't matter. He's like, oh, let's do it at your house because we can sit inside. I'm like, fine. And so he drops off all these drinks, like a huge bag. He bought like 12 bears as well as like the Coke and I had the Jack. So he drops it all off. I put it in the fridge. About an hour later, he comes running over and he's like, oh, let me get all the drinks back. He's like, I'm too lazy to bring my charcoal grill over to your house. So I want you to keep in mind, though, this guy's charcoal grill is literally 45 centimeters long by like 6 centimeters deep and like 10 centimeters high. You could literally just pick it up and move it.
Yeah.
So there's like nothing to move. I thought that was kind of funny. But anyway, I'm like, okay, whatever. Well, let's do this at your house. So I give him the bag back with all the drinks in it. And we head over. Like Jim gets home like maybe an hour later. We head over, hang out, start having some drinks. The evening, starts out good. Good food, right? What was it like? The squid with the beak on it though. That was a little odd. The crunchy beak squid.
Squid
Yeah, with the beak.
is a mouth.
The mouth, yeah. The hard
It's
part.
like well, squid has no bone, nothing called a bone, but
Yeah.
it has like a hard shell inside, like hard structure.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the part of the mouth.
I thought that was interesting.
He likes it.
Yeah.
I'm like, chew the.
But very
Hard.
Japanese in the sense that he's eating all types of crazy stuff. But anyway. So we go to, we're hanging out, having a few drinks. And, he's kind of funny, and we're having a good time. And then, like, he starts to get a little bit too drunk.
Because you pour a lot of Coke, Jack and Coke.
Oh, yeah, so I kept pouring it for him. I was pouring for myself. Now, I know my limit, right? I drink, like, 2 drinks, and I'm good. I'm good with 2, right? Jib had a beer. She had a couple sips of whiskey, Jack and Coke. Like, no big deal. So we're hanging out, enjoying a few beverages. He's going pretty hard. Now, I think it's like he doesn't know his limits.
That's weird.
But I had some friends tell me that Japanese people don't really drink socially. They just drink to drink, which makes sense as well. But what's funny is he starts pushing the limits with what he's saying. First, I think he started out talking about, and keep in mind, it's just Jib and I there. Jam didn't want to come. Like, she was doing some other stuff. So it's just Jib and I, and then him and his girlfriend. First, he starts out by, like, sniffing his cat's bumhole / private areas and, like, licking it, which I thought was a bit strange.
I don't know if he licked it or
He
not.
licked it.
Or he act like he
Maybe
gonna
he
do
acted like it, but I'm pretty sure his mouth
But
made contact.
His face at that part was like,
Yeah. So he's already tipsy. And let me know if you guys have ever had a
Oh my
kind of
God.
encounter with a drunk Japanese guy like this. Mr. Yuld, what's going on? Just got on cold swim. Nice.
oh, cannot.
Oh, Eric. Oh, back in Bangkok. Yo, hit me up, Eric.
Being sick.
Oh,
what happened?
Oh, gotta get better first, but then hit me up.
Because of the air quality, Eric?
Yeah, the air quality got me this week. So, we're hanging out. So first he starts like kind of doing that to his cats, and I think that's weird. And you can tell his girlfriend's getting more and more kind of embarrassed as things go on, right? Then we get to the point where he's drinking a bit too much, and then he starts like kind of like, I don't know if he's making sexual advances to me, or he's insisting like that
Maybe you look sexy for him.
he's insisting that he could pleasure me better than Jib, or who he likes to call Jeff for some reason. So he starts insisting on that. Then he starts like he starts making like suggestions about Jam, our daughter, right? And then at that point I'm like, Taka, like it's all fun and games, but keep in mind that's our daughter. Like don't cross the line. And he's like, oh, yeah. Basically, this is exactly what he sounds like. Oh, is it? No, neighbor, Meijang.
I think his English accent gets worse when he drunk.
Oh, for sure.
But I think my English accent is better when I get drunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess.
But the funny thing, right? So then he's sitting there and he's like, we're joking about something about like America and Japan.
About army.
About the army and everything. Just kind of like jokingly. And having a good time because we moved on from that conversation. And you could tell the whole time, like May, I think she had like 1 beer.
Yes.
And the whole time he's like, oh.
I think because she knows that she has to
Take
care of him.
So at some point, for whatever reason, he's like, oh, I want to punch you. He's like, because we're friends. I can punch you. It's okay, right? And I'm kind of laughing at this. I'm like, you can try. right? If you really want to, you can try. Jib literally goes, Taka, that's the worst idea you've ever had, right? And he's like, I want to punch you. I want to punch you. And you remember, you're like, worst idea you ever had. Worst idea. I'm like, go ahead, try. I could tell he's just kind of like having like drunken fun. So he stands up and he literally tries to punch me in the head, which he misses. And I only move like an inch. He completely misses, but when he swings, I was holding in my hand a chopstick, and I just sort of reached out and poked him in the chest with the chopstick, and he falls back, completely on his back. And while he's laying on his back all laid out, he screams out, America, why you do this to Japan? And we just start laughing. And he pulls himself back up. Right, gets up. And at this point, like, he's not really functioning.
Or it's like, I think he said he would like to hit your head, like in Japan, as a comedian, as I remember.
Oh, yeah,
they like to just like this part, as you ball, half ball. So this part, like no hair, that's the target part that they make joke, like what do you call spank it? Slap it, like make noise, because it gonna be the noise of the skin, no hair. That's how they like to make joke. From what I remember from the old Japanese comedian.
Yeah.
I think he would like to do that to you. But yeah, he missed.
So
yeah.
So yeah.
I'm so afraid that he's gonna get to this point. It's like I look and check, like, okay, no blood, nothing. It was just fine.
I just put it like right in the chest.
So I don't know where you hit him, but I know you hit him.
And it was light. Like I just really put my arm out. Yeah. But
how hard you push it?
So he's laid out, and at this point he starts talking about like talking about how he wishes he was creative like me and Jib. And he's like lamenting the fact that he's a Japanese salaryman and goes to the office every day. No one cares about his work output. He's going on and on. And then he's like, oh, you could never be salaryman. He's like, with your look, fuck you. And so first he's insisting that he calls me skinhead, which at this point we realize that he's too drunk for me to explain that is not an appropriate term to call an American. And I start to tell him, and Jib's like, he's not going to get it right now. Don't worry.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay. He's like, cannot be skinhead and work in Japanese company. And then he's like, cannot have beard and work in Japanese company. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. He's like, you look like Big Bear. And then he's going off about like that. He's like, in Japanese company cannot be creative, just have to listen and, buckle down, and going off and off on this. And Jib and I are kind of laughing, but at this point he's getting a bit unhinged, right? So Jib literally goes, I had mostly like some Coke Zero in my glass at this point. Now he's finished almost, keep in mind, a 700 milliliter bottle of Jack Daniels. I've had maybe 2 shots from it over the course of the evening, which is just like really 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's short.
So Jib literally goes like this. We're sitting there, and he's got his eyes closed, and he's talking about something, I don't know what. And Jib picks her phone up, and she goes, oh my, look at the time. We got to go work. See you later, Taka. And so we get up, and he's like, oh, yeah. I don't even know what he's saying at this point. And, we say goodbye to his girlfriend. Like, thank you for having us. Appreciate it. And we leave. And about 20 minutes later, he calls me. Video calls me online. And he's like, you got me so drunk. America, why you do this to Japan? You intoxicate us. I'm like, oh, okay. Sure. And he calls me for like 2-3 minutes. And he's trying to like hug one of his cats while we're on this call. And the cat keeps trying to get away from him. He keeps trying to grab it, and it's like running away. So Jib's sitting at her desk. I'm like, man. She comes over. You see it and you laugh. And he's like, that Jib Junk. Jeff Jung. So we kind of like, he hangs up on me because I think he's looking for his cat. I don't hear from him the rest of the night. So I wake up the next morning early because I had something to do, which I'll talk about yesterday's kind of activity in a bit. But I get a message from him in the morning. He's like, "Why you like to get Japanese people so drunk? I can't do anything today." I'm like, "Bro, like you're an adult. You're in your 30s. I didn't do anything. Like you did this. Like I didn't pull your head back and waterboard you with whiskey." So we're chatting. I end up bringing him over some hydration powders because I was like, "You need to get some electrolytes in your system." He sends me a photo that I'm assuming his girlfriend took of him passed out in a puddle of his own puke in the driveway last night or the night before. And I'm just like, "Oh, God." I showed Jib, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, not good, not good." I'm sure the cats went over and licked the puke.
I don't know.
For sure. But
then cat get drunk too.
They live with like 5 or 6 cats. Or 4
3.
cats? 3 or 4?
3.
Okay. Too many cats. But
3 is not too many.
So it sends me the photo. Sends me the photo of him passed out in puke. Right? Kind of funny. I bring him over the hydration powders. He comes downstairs, like in just his underwear, and he's like he can barely.
Red eyes.
He can't open his eyes. He's like, just his underwear, and we're talking. I'm like, "How you feel?" He's like, "Oh, I can't do anything." So I give him this. I'm like, "Drink one now, drink one later." I was like, "Make it hot and sip it. Make it with hot water. Sip it. It'll make you feel better." And it'll rehydrate.
Did you check him if he's good today?
Yeah, so I sent him a message yesterday. I'm like, "Hey, last night when I got back, I'm like, how you doing?" He's like, "I've done nothing today." He's like, "I can't even get out of bed." It's funny because when he came down, after he'd been talking to me for like 5 minutes outside, his girlfriend comes downstairs and she's just like shaking her head. Great. Again, fun guy. I really like him. Very, very interesting. But what a wild night. Like, just like hanging out with our neighbors. Absolutely wild. So now I'm like, in the future, I'm not bringing whiskey over to this guy's house. 1, he drank a whole bottle of Jack Daniels by himself, essentially, minus my 2 shots. And 2, he just lost control.
Yes.
So I think in the future, a couple beers, not a big deal.
Yes.
Right? But like to drink, he's just not a whiskey guy at all.
We're just gonna sip a drink in front of his house, not go inside.
Yeah, not sit down
Hang
for
out
hours.
just one beer.
Yeah. Smoke Death put up, there was a Japanese guy coming into the shop with his cat recently, reddish tiger stripe cat. No cat's low, so he had to leave again.
Yeah, he has an orange
Yeah, he has an
cat.
orange cat with a...
Is it chubby?
With a skin condition?
With like missing hair, like one part like at the back.
Which shop? Which shop are you at, Smoke Death?
So his name is Takashi. Possible. He tell us his name is Taka, but maybe the full name is Takashi.
Did he drive a Suzuki GSX 750? It's definitely the same guy.
It's a blue. It's a man blue bike.
No name Udom Sok.
Maybe Unom Sok. Yeah, he know the area.
Maybe. I mean, that's near where he works. He works on 101/1, and he has an orange cat. Yeah. So Uncle Craig, don't want to say been there, done that, but
you done that?
Quite chubby orange cat. Don't know about his ride. The cat's has had some. It used to be a soy cat on our soy, and he adopted it. And actually, him and his girlfriend, they did a great job
to take care of the cat.
Take care of the cat. They integrated it. They put it in their driveway, kind of on a really long leash for a few months while they brought it back and forth to the vet to get it checked out. It was missing fur on its back and had open sores. So they got it dewormed. They took care of its skin. They've really that cat was frail and skinny, and it couldn't eat very well because we used to feed it.
It's like she's look better
Yeah.
when she come to eat at our house, but
Yeah.
I'm scared to like touch it because it's not my cat.
Yeah.
So like I don't know if she gonna bite me or not, but like just touch a little bit, that's okay, but not. I'm afraid to like grab her
Yeah.
like that to get her.
She used to lay on my motorcycle and leave like pus marks all over my motorcycle from like her skin seeping. Now it doesn't do that anymore, right? They've taken amazing care of this cat and fed it. It's put on quite a bit of weight. But yeah, it used to be like all frail
Look
and
like
skinny.
Garfield now.
Yeah, it looks a little Garfield-ish. But it used to be like it looked like it was gonna die previously.
Yeah, when she
Yeah.
like jumped across the gate
Yeah.
and asked for food, that time so skinny.
Yeah. You
So
could see
I
her
keep
ribs.
fed her.
Yeah, you could see her spine originally.
Yeah.
She was so skinny you could see her spine. So they've really, and they take good care of their cat. Their cats are all very well taken care of. But his liver is not. But yeah, wild guy. But yeah, maybe the same dude. He works in that area, so.
You missed
Oh,
the
so-
other comment of Eric,
Where?
like up there, go up.
Oh. Some guys just ain't cool when they drunk, yeah. Oh, he says not really the air had cold. Oh, better now. I've seen some
Think
weird
he-
drinking.
Yeah.
Seth promises he won't be looking at any cats in Thailand. Let's see, Seth. Let's see. Did he? I think he did. Look at a cat.
Joe.
Joe. Yeah, so it might be the same guy. I'll ask him if he goes to that shop. But yeah, I think, I'm glad he's okay. I messaged him last night when I got home, and he said he's basically been laid up for the whole day.
Not
So
surprised.
I'll see how he's feeling today. This is the same guy. He crashed his bike in Pattaya, and he was at track day. He's a very, very skilled driver, actually, a very skilled rider on his bike. He goes to track days all the time. But he laid his bike down, snapped the handlebars off, and I let him borrow one of my bikes for a few days. Actually, it ended up being like 2 months. But he fixed a bunch of stuff on the bike just randomly as like a thank you. So very cool guy, man. I really like him. Yeah, this is from Joe, I guess.
ใช่
It says, come here, kitty. That's perfect. But yeah, so I'm sure there'll be many adventures in the future with him, for sure.
I don't think May will let him go out with you.
Oh, he also wanted to, he kept asking us to, should we all go to Nana? Right? He was like, let's all go to Nana Plaza. Let's all go. Come on, the four of us. We go to Nana Plaza. I was like, we live on the other side of the city, dude. That's impractical. And but he was insistent, huh? And then I sent him what I say to him? I said I had seen a Japanese men's club before between Tonglaw and Prompong. And he's like, oh, tell me where I need to go. In front of his girl, he's like, tell me where I will go. I will go visit for sure. I'm like, bro, relax.
Maybe that's a joke.
I don't think he was
You like
joking.
to joke me sometime.
No, he was definitely serious. Yo, Keone, what's going on? Just spoke one of Jib's favorite actors. Social shows had too. Oh, nice. Which one? Which actor? I don't know. I'm just kidding. Very cool.
Yeah.
Joe, what is Nana Plaza? No idea, Joe. Haven't heard of it. I'm sure you'll find it when you're here. You can tell me.
Joe, you can hang out with him. You'll get along for sure.
Joe, I'll introduce you to my neighbor. I think you guys will have a good time together.
Yeah. I will drop you guys in Khao San and come to pick you
You dropped them in Khao San. You might have to pick them from Cowboy.
law.
Chai.
That's far, nah? Different area.
So, then anyway, after, so like I said, I only had 2 drinks that night. Woke up the next day, and I was fortunate enough, Keone invited me to Stretch Skin for a tattoo he was doing. That was a great experience. However, I've got to start sitting on the floor more, I think, and like stretching my hips, because I would try to get up after like 2 hours of like working and just stretching skin, and my hips would not work. Like I would try to get up, Keone springs right up. He's like, Keone's literally 20 years older than me, right? He's like up off the floor, boom, here we go, just doing stuff. I'm like leaning up against his couch, like trying to get my knees to straighten, trying to get my hips to line up, trying to like straighten out my back, right? And Keone's like stretching. He's like, all right, here, working on this. Okay, good. Making coffee, pulling shots of espresso. I'm like trying to turn around, right? So I've got to start working on that mobility, because I'm definitely at 45. I shouldn't be this immobile, for sure. So I've got to work on that. It's a goal for this year.
Not 46?
45. 45.
You're 3 years older than me.
45. I turned 45 in December. You can't call me
And
46.
this year you're 46.
I don't get 2 days of my age, babe. That's not how it works. So anyway, that's goal for this year, though, is to work on mobility. Because I definitely have zero at this point. But yeah, that's what I was up early for. Like I said, I saw him before I went out, gave him those hydration powders. I gotta ask him today if he had them. We chatted a little bit last night, and I was like, still alive. He's like, he said,
Tell him to drink lots of water.
yeah, tried to have the conversation with him. But yeah, on the mobility front though, I was like, I was under no illusion. I didn't think I had like great hip mobility. Like I didn't think that. But like when you try to get up after 2 hours of like sitting and kind of bending over, and you can't even get your hips to like work right, and they're all stiff, you know that you gotta do something. But what's that? Oh yeah, Joe, thanks. Not a day over 50. My hairline's at least 65 years old. I mean, no doubt about that. But you know what I think? Like Keone sits on the floor a lot. Like he'll often like just sit on the floor, lean against something, and like that's kind of normal for him.
Yeah, but not normal for you.
Not
but
normal for me.
For Thai.
But I noticed like that's probably why his body is so like more flexible and has better mobility than mine, despite being a few years older than me. So something like I'll probably try to do more this year. Sit on the floor a little bit more, work on mobility a bit more. Yeah. Smoke Death, don't make me hate you. Technically speaking, you finished your 45th year in life on your 45th birthday. You are in my 46th year. You're siding a bit too much with Jib here for me, Smoke Death. I'm not happy about this. So 46 year, yes. Not 46 years old. But as Joe said, I don't look a day over 50. So I'm fine. I need to get to like that Morgan Freeman stage where like I just kind of look the same age for like 40 years. Set like a Thai person. Sit like a Thai person. Yeah. Well, Jib, you don't sit on the floor a ton here, but I imagine like did you at home and stuff?
At school.
At school. Oh, that's true. At school all day, every day. At school, no chairs at Jib's school. And their desks are literally only like 10 centimeters off the ground.
No, it's about like
30?
Maybe 30 or 45.
But yeah, so it's something to work on, But yeah, what a great experience getting to like just like one, see Keone work, two, stretch the skin, and like kind of experience the different watch him work and like start to learn a little bit about like how the skin reacts in different areas of the leg, because there's like 3 different parts of skin that he was showing me, and they all react differently, like upper thigh, knee, and calf. What's that? Ken says when we were children, we would let older people sit on chairs and we would sit on the floor. Oh, is that why you let me sit on the chair? Because I physically look older than you?
No, Thai will do the same. So like like parents would teach us, like you won't sit higher than older.
Oh, so real quick, Keone, because we talked about the shoes yesterday. I messaged Don last night. He got back to me like it was after midnight, so he said he's back in town tomorrow when he said it, but I don't know if he meant Sunday or Monday because he said he's leaving Tuesday, but he's free to meet up about like shoe measurements and get a last going.
Oh,
I'll
you're gonna
follow
make
up.
shoe?
What's that?
You're gonna make shoe?
Maybe. Well, Keone's friend, who's she's a professional dog shower, dog trainer, dog shower.
Ah.
She has like some foot issues, so like she wants to get some custom shoes.
Okay.
I was like, well, Don is an absolute master. We're working on a project right now, but him and Jib are also doing a design collab. But let's try to link you guys up because that's his business, and he does great work. So he said he's free to meet up and can talk and kind of figure out timelines and stuff, see what she needs. But I sort of explained to him, like, so because they're from Hawaii and they wear slippers, right? What they call flip-flops, slippers, right? But basically, like, you look at their feet, because we were with 3 of them yesterday, yeah. Like, most of them, they've never worn shoes, like, on a regular basis. Like, I grew up wearing shoes.
So
like,
I guess no need for them because they walk on like a beach,
well,
on
I mean,
sand,
it's
and
an
can
island.
get wet anytime.
It's an island, but it's not 100% beach, babe.
I know, but I mean, like, it's like a nice air, not cold. So why you need shoes?
Well, I think that their culture is to wear those flip-flops or slippers or sandals. And all of them have toes that, like, my toes are wide now because I don't wear shoes as often. And I wear the Nanyongs, which have the wide toe box. All of them have incredibly spread out toes.
That's how I can do pinch.
Yeah. But, like theirs are, like, even more than yours. Like, so I think that's part of that culture that they're, they don't wear the shoes. And, like, so their feet look like a foot naturally should in that regard. So, and obviously modern footwear is not meant to support that type of foot health. So a custom shoe for her is probably like the best bet. So yeah, Don's available. I'll try to make that connect with you guys somehow, work it out. But yeah, what an awesome weekend so far. So I'll jump in a little bit of news. Thai news.
What news?
Let's talk about this Swiss guy first. He was at a zoo in Chiang Mai. I'm not sure how this happened, but he somehow got his arm into the cage with a bear, and the bear bites his arm. And then to get his arm out, to save his own arm, he cut it off at the elbow. Just like...
Why he doesn't ask staff to sedate that bear?
Maybe there was the type of place where you can get your arm into the cage with a bear. I'm imagining there was no staff and less chance that they would be available to sedate the bear. Again, so normally, like at a zoo, right? Best practices are to have like a pretty big buffer between people and the animals. 1, for the stress level of the animal. 2, for the safety of the humans. So that is something really to keep in mind. And so how is he at a place where he was able to get his arm into the cage?
Yeah, I don't know how. Like, if it's a proper zoo, it's going to be like enough area to... like block you from the cage.
At least usually 3 meters.
Something.
And again, mostly, yes,
with a dangerous animal. Yeah. But like I have one bad experience at a zoo when I was young, like kindergarten level. Like I went there with other member of the family. Yeah. And I think that's the babysitter hold me like like that and walk too close to the monkey cage. Oh. And I have like a red kind of a bobbin or something on my hair. and it reached to grab and pull. So it's like this. I remember that and I screamed. So then I don't know if I get it back or at least I don't know if I lose some of my hair, but I'm safe. But that's just like for the thing that small but long arms.
Yeah.
And walk too close.
But again, to be that close to that.
So I don't know. That's the dangerous,
also
powerful animal. I don't
generally,
know why.
it's mostly for the animal's stress, right? You don't want the people to be too close to them because it can stress the animals out. Real quick, I just want to acknowledge that TJ McD's statement is 100% factual. People who live in Thailand don't go. People who live in Bangkok don't go to Khao San Road.
That's for tourists,
yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah, but I haven't been. Normally when we go
for
to
university student. If you would like to meet Thai university student, of course you go to.
That's
Khao
where they
San.
go fishing for the farang. But yeah, so generally these zoos they have that gap, right? And so, they. To not stress the animals. But yeah, to Joe's point too, he's an idiot for putting his arm into a bear cage.
I don't know how. For bear to get you, you must put the arm inside. Or
I feel like he probably looked and was like, oh, this bear has something stuck in his teeth. Let me put my hand in his mouth and get it out.
I don't know. For my case, it's monkey has a. It's not the monkey that but it's a type of monkey that has a longer arms.
Yeah.
So it's more arms, so it can go past the gap of the cage. That I understand, but for the bear cage, I don't understand.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. The dude is not the smartest guy. Smoke Dev says you can see a bear reaching through the cage. But again, you shouldn't be able to get that close to the cage. There should be meters between you and the cage.
If the cage gap is wide enough that animal can reach out, they're gonna make a longer range for audience not to get close to it.
Yeah.
It can be long ago, last time that I went to the zoo, people like to throw a bread or fruit to the cage for animal.
Yeah.
So maybe that's.
But again, the fact that you're that close to the cage, where even if like he says he plays with the bear's paw and it's stupid and gets pulled in, 100%. In my mind, if you're so close to a cage that you're being pulled in and the bear's biting you, you're at fault, not the bear in any way. Now, granted, the zoo should not have access to any animal that you can get that close. Right? You should not be that close to any animal, period, for safety for you and the animal. Eric thinks that Jack Daniels was involved in the bear incident too. Very likely.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's drunk from something.
But kudos to this guy. Guy cuts his own arm off at the elbow to save himself. Now, I don't know if the bear going to eat the arm or what happened, but yeah, kind of wild. 2 meters, 2 meters. You can't reach your arms in 2 meters unless you're a freak.
Unless you jump in, and then you reach further.
There was a guy some years back who jumped in a lion cage to convert them to.
No.
This is I saw this from Kione. Remembers there was a Christian organization commercials asking for money. They would say that the children in foreign countries had they needed shoes. Run around without shoes. Yeah.
Thai run in flip flop too.
Yeah, no, for sure. They ride motorcycles in flip flops.
Think about it's hot here. Wear shoe is your feet smell.
They sweat. But yeah, so I thought this bear story was interesting. Again, I don't know, I couldn't find all the details online, but in my mind,
it's not on Thai news.
It's got to be a poorly designed zoo. And the guy had to make some incredibly poor choices to get to the point where his arm is stuck in this cage. So, But in other bear news, and Jib has a really good take on this from some stuff she saw online, but Thailand has requested a giant panda from China. Now, they used to have a couple. I think they passed away. So they've requested a new one.
And pass away.
And if you guys know, China uses these pandas as a form of soft power, and they will often leverage the leasing of these pandas against other political favors. So there's some issues with it from that perspective, but there's been some interesting developments in the Thai story. I'll let Jib talk about it. And you were saying that the woman who runs the elephant sanctuary has come out to talk about this?
Yeah, so Thai government would like to have another pandas.
If you guys don't know, they cost about $500,000 a year to lease.
So it's like government has to pay to rent the panda to show in Chiang Mai. And like, as you know, it's hot here and panda has to stay in the cold place. So it has to be like the cage with AC all the time, which is, they cannot run outside. They have to just stay in the cold room, which is not nice for them. It's different if they live in China. Of course, there's snow. They can run around in a big area, but here can just stay in a small room with AC. So the lady that she helped elephants, she come out and said she was a politician, but now she just like spend her time to help elephants. So she come out and said like, well, just let panda live in China and spend that budget to save Thai elephant. So people come out and like support her, like, oh yeah, that's good to do that for our own animal, because for Thai we respect elephant. Even in the old Thai flag,
it had an elephant.
Yeah, there's an elephant in the flag because we respect elephant that is smart, is powerful, and is help when we fight in the war. At the time that you still fight with, sword and arrow.
Yeah.
That time, the elephant is like very important for countries. Like we just like. I think the word like worship gonna maybe too much, but we respect
it.
Yeah.
Not just that, but again, pandas are used as a form of political bargaining for China, and when you have one, they often try to bend your will on a bunch of things.
And I think we don't need that.
Yeah, we don't need that in Thailand.
We
but
can
also,
watch it in like your YouTube in a short video somewhere, like, oh, it's cute.
Yeah.
But I remember I went there to Chiang Mai Zoo to see the panda. It just like, it depends on it. It want like to show up or not, because the caretaker cannot just poke it like, hey, go out and show. No, cannot force the panda. So it depends. It would like to show up or would like to sleep at the back. And why you have to pay that much money for just like, you can see it or not.
And I agree that Thailand should focus on preservation and conservation of elephants. Right? And we have our own, there are bears here in Thailand as well, that the sunspot bear.
Yeah, that one you have to run away, and it's fast and
strong. I mean, they're dangerous, but I mean, like we have bears here as well that we can
just
focus
different
on.
Bear.
Different bear, yeah. So, but elephants are very much a symbol of Thailand, and we should focus on that preservation versus importing an animal from China that requires special enclosures and all this stuff. So I fully agree, but also I feel like this current PM is a bit too pro-China, and his policies, even as a businessman, seem to be very pro-China, pre-politics.
Because his biggest customer for the luxury village from China.
Yeah, so again, I feel like he's maybe a bit too pro-China for my liking.
Oh, and now they launched the program that free visa for China.
Yeah. So again,
for Chinese, like
a bit too pro-China for my liking, but let's see. Let's see what happens. What do you guys think? Have you seen a panda in the zoo before? Joe says he loves pandas. They barbecue so good.
No, Joe.
TJ McD, he lived in Hawaii for 7 years. Shoes for work, all other times flip-flops.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Warm air, why you need shoes?
Yeah, so have you guys seen a panda before, like at the zoo? I remember seeing one in the U.S. at one point. But now, into Smoke Def's comment, I believe that they're recalling pandas from a lot of countries that are not super friendly. I don't know if they're going to stop exporting or not. I hadn't read that. Well, wild black bears in most of the country, even New England. It's the grizzlies you gotta worry about.
Bear, what is black bear?
So there are two types.
I know grizzly.
So there are actually 3 types of bears in America, but in the continental U.S. there are 2.
Oh.
Grizzly bears are big brown bears.
Yeah.
Black bears are much smaller.
Or smaller.
But still dangerous.
Or is the one in like a national park that like people make a joke look like they come to picnic with you?
Yeah.
Is that one?
Yes.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, but still dangerous.
I know, but it's so cute.
Yeah.
Like you maybe make a peanut butter sandwich and drop it there, and the bear will come
we'll
to
eat it. Yeah. Get in your picnic basket, Yogi Bear style. But yeah, you gotta.
Oh, Yogi Bear, yeah.
Grizzlies, you gotta really worry about. You gotta worry about black bears too. They're still a
about
bear.
every bear.
They're still a bear.
Yeah.
But
it's not a dog; it's a bear.
But you don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry. They're not as aggressive as grizzlies.
Okay.
But that's also part of the problem is people think they're friendly. They're not friendly.
If you like stand tall and yell, will it run away?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Not always. Yeah. Sometimes they get very used to people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, then that's
Yeah, but what? First up, Poe. What's up, brother? How you doing? Yeah. So they can. So this is true, right? When they get used to people, they can be aggressive, but not aggressive like a grizzly's aggressive. At least in my encounters with black bears, Joe and Poe. Tell me if this is the same for you. Right. For me, black bears are aggressive in the sense that they're more curious aggressive. And I have only ever had one encounter in the wild with a grizzly, and lucky it was at a very, very long distance.
How long?
Like 100 meters.
Not long.
Not long enough, but long enough that I just froze and let it keep walking by.
Did not smell you?
It didn't care.
Oh.
Right, and I stopped. I had my bear spray out, but I stopped and just let it keep going. But from what I've read about grizzly encounters, they can just be vicious. Like if you ever seen The Revenant, that's kind of how people describe it. But black bears are more aggressive in like a curious manner.
Come to check, but then like even if they're used to people and you try to shoo them away and yell, they just won't leave. Like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Yeah, no, just
Let
stay.
me
move over.
Open the
human.
trash to check.
Yeah.
Like, that's dangerous.
And then we have polar bears in Alaska.
Oi, rare, mate.
No, not rare, but not in the continental U.S. And those are the most aggressive. They're killers.
Of course.
And so you just don't want to mess. That's a bear that only kills to eat.
So I think,
only eats when it kills, I should say.
I think polar bear, you have to go into specific area to see it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then don't go there.
There's a crossbreed between grizzlies and polar bears.
Oh, I heard that.
Yeah.
I thought it's a rumor.
No, they've actually,
real?
a hunter in Canada killed one.
Yeah?
And I think it was actually an American hunting in Canada, oddly enough. But killed one, and they were able to confirm genetically it was a crossbreed.
Yeah.
And that's a result of global warming and the bears moving further inland for longer.
Oh, yeah. So what color of the fur?
Oh, yeah. Joe says the cross between the grizzly and polar.
Yeah.
It's like a mix, actually. It's like half white, half brown. Like kind of...
Look nice, mate.
Yeah.
Can be like liger, but this is a bear. I don't know what they call it.
But yeah, they are hilarious on Instagram, like the rolling around and stuff.
Shy.
So actually, I have a friend who lived up in Alaska for years and years. and worked. He was an IT guy for like these indigenous villages. They had like this Alaska like internet network, and he would go out to all the villages and work on the equipment. He said he'd be in like the IT room, which was usually at the school, and he'd look out the window, and there'd just be polar bears walking by, and like he'd just freeze, like, oh my god, what do we do? But he said one night he was out camping because he had to go meet the head of IT for this village, and they go out and they're staying in these hard side tents, and they've got stoves in the tents and everything. There's snow outside. And he says, like, all night long, he hears something, like, brushing up against the side of the tent. Now, it's literally just a canvas tent with, like, some wood paneling for the walls to give it shape. And so he hears stuff brushing up against the side of the tent, like, making noise outside, but he thinks it's moose, right? He gets up the next morning, and they're making breakfast, and they go out of the tent to get some snow for water. He says there's bear prints all around the tent, like there were dozens of polar bears just, like, walking around.
Oh, it's scary.
Yeah, like, so you could have been a snack, easy. Poe says they chase them off, no problem. Big boons and grizz don't scare is easy. Yeah. Grizzly bears don't scare, right? They scare us, but they don't get scared of us. Joe hunted black bear. Good eating. All bears in America have trichinosis, so you got to cook it really well. Browns, not boons.
What's that, boons?
No, typo.
Oh.
Yeah. I had black bear soup with some Alaskan Native people in Juneau, Alaska. I remember it was pretty fatty. Yeah, I imagine that the bear meat would have to be, depending on when you have it. But you got to cook it like really...
Does it smell?
You got to cook it really well because it's got trichinosis. Polar bears are one of the species that see humans as food source. Yeah. Like, I think for a polar bear, anything that moves is a food source.
Yall.
Right? They just rip stuff apart.
Yeah.
So the bear, like in America, like bears are not uncommon. I think there's probably black bears in every state.
I think in Japan they have bears.
Yeah. Kuma, real kuma.
So, I mean, like the bears in the wild. Because my teacher said once, like when he's fishing with his dad, like his dad heard something, like in the woods. So just okay, let's pack up and run.
Oh yeah, I remember he was telling that story. Yeah, moose are huge. Actually, I've seen moose a few times up in Maine, and like I always thought a moose was a big deer. No.
Yeah, I thought that too. With like a big what do you call
antlers. Moose are it's like a monster. It's like comparing a deer to Godzilla. That's how big moose are.
Yeah, like I thought Frank showed me the photo of like a moose.
Maybe.
It's like, what? Is it real? I thought it's no way that it's gonna be that big.
I've seen moose where people drive under them. That's how tall they are. Bears and beavers have to be careful. I've never encountered a wild beaver.
Beaver that has a big teeth that bite the tree?
Yeah.
Why is dangerous?
Oh, no, he's saying because of trichinosis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've never encountered a wild beaver. Yeah. Yeah, so it's like all bear meat you're supposed to cook like beyond well done because of trichinosis.
Just don't eat it.
That's why most of the time people make stew.
Don't eat it.
Probably easier to not eat it.
Get a pork.
Yeah.
Chicken. Joe
Rogan goes off about some black bear who live on a diet of blueberries. Their fat is bluish and apparently have a blueberry flavor. It sounds like a very Joe Rogan thing. And I'm sure that's true. Like if there are bears that live that only eat berries and stuff when they live in certain areas, so that's probably true. But also like I wouldn't be in a hurry to eat it. Like, especially like given the trichinosis thing, like why risk it? So another story that popped up this week was about a British base jumper who died in Pattaya after his chute failed. Tried jumping off a building. I actually saw this. I saw this this article popped up online. It was like British YouTuber dies in Pattaya. And my first thought was like, oh God, please let it be Patty Doyle. Please let it be Patty Doyle. But no, it was a base jumper. He tried to base jump off a building, shoot failed. Obviously,
The news said he's like a sneak in the building. He didn't he didn't stay there.
And obviously the sudden drop at the end was fatal. But yeah, very sad story. But also like there was the guy who owned a bar on Soy Cowboy called Dollhouse. He base jumped off that tall green building next to Soy Cowboy, and his chute opened, but he hit the BTS line. His chute hit the top of the bottom of the BTS tracks, collapsed, and he fell down and broke both his legs. And that led to him having a bunch of surgeries and developing an addiction to painkillers. And eventually he fell off his building trying to break into his own condo by climbing on the outside of the building. So, but yeah, it's not the first time I've heard of a foreigner having a bad base jump in Thailand. Must get moose and squirrel. Gator, Jake, what's up, Jake? How you doing? Same with ducks, diet effect. I'm sure like our diet effects are, if you were to eat human, our diet affects it as well. They're omnivores. Oh, you talk black bears, yeah. Exactly, Poe, exactly. Oh. You could see the drag chute cord was on the inside of the harness. That's why it didn't pull. Ah, okay. So yeah, definitely poor setup. I imagine, right, like if you're sneaking into buildings and doing this, in my mind, I would just have like such a system set up to check over and over and over again. Apparently this guy did not. The brother said that the chute was put on wrong and got hung up on the harness. So clearly not a professional. Clearly not a professional at what he was doing. I just saw this briefly. I read the article. I read it early when it came out, so I didn't get all the details. But I got to imagine, like, not the best way to go. And last thing I want is to be have a headline read that I died in Pattaya. That's just not the way I want to go out. Not the city I want to die in. The sudden landing, exactly. The sudden stop at the bottom of the trip. He jumped that building before, got busted and banned, but came back. Oh, classic decision making. Over 3,000 okay, so let's break this down real quick. If he had over 3,000 jumps, and as Keone's saying here, he was a skydive instructor, how are you making this mistake with your chute? How are you, if you have 3,000 jumps, and imagine if you were one of his students for skydiving, right, and he was your instructor, and now you found out he died because he didn't set his chute up right? Like that's going to be, like, you're going to be like, God, I was so lucky. Yeah, not play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Or as my favorite saying, fuck around and find out. Right? This guy clearly fucked around and he found out the hard way. Too old and broken for that. Damn right. Overconfidence, yeah. One of the most common mistakes, you can see it in the video. Yo, like 3,000 jumps and an instructor, and you're still making like these basic mistakes. That's wild. And base jump off of buildings is a very high risk thing. Wow, really, that's crazy. Imagine 3,000 jumps in and going like that. That's wild. Real quick, I see Eddie MD. You guys still purchasing unique fabric garments? So, still kind of working in that space, but we're not picking up as much fabric these days. Jib's working on a lot of other art projects. So, actually, do you want to show the samples real quick from yesterday? So right now, Jib's been taking some of her paintings, converting them to digital, and then printing DTG with this company. So we're running some samples.
You want to show the big or small
This
first?
was the big ones. We've showed the small before, right? Well, let's show the small one first, because we can just kind of hold
Let's
these
print
up.
bigger. This is 45.
Here's a 45. So these are Jib's paintings, if I can straighten it out. Jib's
Don't
paintings.
forget to turn off the fan.
Oh, yeah, sorry, the fan's been running this whole time. Hope it wasn't too loud. So these are Jib's paintings, which have been scanned on an industrial scanner. Let's, there we go, is one. This is the 45 centimeter. Still a bit small for me. Can't even
Not
really
for
fit
you,
around my
that's
neck.
For me, I can wear it like this. Ain't it?
Just put a string on the back.
Yay!
That one's my favorite, I think, of the designs. Here's the other one.
So I think this is too big, the pattern too big for the size.
Oh,
Have
you were
to
saying that,
recreate
yeah.
it.
And then here's the 90 centimeter larger one. This is more of a shawl. I like this one a lot. I like this size. So, babe, why did let me see this one? So, why did you choose to print the satin and not print the chiffon for these? Because I really
Because
like
it's shiny out and people will like it.
personally, I
more.
really like the look of the chiffon, the finished product of the chiffon print. But I understand like the image being shinier. However, I don't like the back. I don't think that the transfer goes all the way through on these. I don't really like the way it looks. But I do like the designs. I like the print quality on the right side. I don't like the lack of transfer through on the wrong side. Oh, that fits you pretty good.
This is for female, not for big guy like
That would
you.
not even fit around my head, to be honest.
Of course not.
But yeah, so that's, these are kind of what Jib's been working on. I like the chiffon prints. I think they look nicer overall as a finished product, better for hot weather. But these do transfer pretty well.
I can order chiffon different, because teacher would like to get a sample quick.
Can you do
and
the
this
90?
one, we can share the print on the same fabric. Because if I do chiffon, it's just for myself.
Can you do a 90 with chiffon and we can see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So Smoke that says base jumping in general is not something instructors should do. Would agree. Eddie asks, any places recommend to go have a look? I would definitely recommend China World as like a nice walkthrough location. And if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous, I would recommend going to Sampang.
Pahurat for fabric.
And then take a look around there.
Walk around, you will see.
If your tie's good, you can definitely kind of have conversations. Not all the shops are out in the open, so you gotta be a little adventurous. And then obviously J Fabric.
It's like mostly cotton with the cute print.
Yeah, a lot of imports. They're one of the best curators of fabric patterns in Thailand, in my opinion, if you check out J Fabric. Not in Chinatown, but I would say Chinatown. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that wraps up well for you. Good size, babe. What neighborhood would you say J Fabric is in, babe?
Jakkawat.
Because I would say Chinatown, but Jib was saying I'm wrong. Check out J Fabric. Best curators of cute patterns, for sure. Yeah, Jib's art's been absolutely fantastic and really kind of getting to that next level now.
Thank you.
Nice. Joe likes it. Yeah, I like this big one. It's actually kind of cool. I would like the print quality. The problem is, guys, the backside of this particular satin fabric doesn't get a full transfer. So it's a bit washed out on the back, which I think makes it look not finished. Whereas the chiffon has a much more visible print on the wrong side that I think makes it look nicer as like a scarf or a shawl if you're going to sell it as that. And this being a tropical country, to me, chiffon makes more sense.
I would like to make a rectangle shape too.
Yeah.
Like the one from Vietnam that you gave me.
Yeah.
I like that one because when I sit in a bus and it's cold, I just put it as like it's around, like I can go from left to right and it's warm.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that would be good as well, yeah. Yo, Dave, what's going on, brother? How's things? TJ McD, I will pass on the wild beaver jokes.
Why?
Please don't pass on the jokes. Please
Why?
don't. So, you know, we use beaver in English as a euphemism for Jim.
Huh? Why? Is it look alike? I don't think so.
No, but I don't. It is what it is. It's a joke.
We would say most of looks like it more. Like
Yeah.
I would joke about that.
But yeah. So we use clam as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But beaver is also one. Jim's getting her English vocabulary expanded. Yeah, Jim's definitely rocking it. See, it fits you well, man. It's a good look for you. Kind of has a nice little country look. Yeah, I'll pay them a visit. Just remember watching some videos of you guys years ago.
Oh, yeah. You can
thanks.
walk that route.
Yeah.
That's a China World.
China World Sampang J.
You can get off at MRT Sam Yard station and walk to that fabric building. And when you arrive there, you will see like if you stand in front of the building, so that's the corner of the road, you will see like a big fabric shop. But it just say only one shop there. It's a discount fabric. You might check it too. And when you walk on that side, it's like almost all the way. It's all fabric.
Hey, Ron John, thanks for coming over, man. Dave, thanks for sending the folks. Frostbite Falls.
What's that?
Bearded clam. I know what you're talking about. It's the bearded clam. A little bit of fuzz on the clam. So good English lessons, babe. Oh, nice. Where'd you see the wild elephant, Eddie?
เขาใหญ่เหรอ
That's I've seen murmurings of a wild elephant when I was in Khao Yai, but didn't actually get to see one. Jack Daniels. A lot of Jack Daniels this weekend. Oh, this is another interesting story out of Pattaya. Two more interesting stories out of Pattaya this week. So Pattaya has started to crack down on illegal sales of cannabis. So like these shops that are set up at like the night markets without a license and selling it. So as the laws are getting sort of revamped at the moment, we don't know what the outcome of the law will be. If they'll regulate cannabis to what level, or if they'll, if they're going to restrict the recreational usage. Pattaya police have started to sort of crack down on unlicensed sales. Now, I don't know if this has to do with maybe not proper licensing or fees being paid elsewhere, or if it has to do, fees, or if it has to do with actual policy shifts in Pattaya. But that's something that's going on. Oh yeah, near Hoi Hin. Yeah, there's actually a lot of wild elephants out near Hoi Hin, Eddie.
Oh, it has like a part.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought, interesting of all places that Hoi Hin, is that going to be your new outfit, babe? It's interesting that of all places, Pattaya is the one to crack down on this unlicensed selling. What do you think of that, babe? As Jib tries to tie up the front. Trying to make an outfit out of the shawl. So what do you think of the unlicensed selling?
It's good to control them. At least if someone use it and has problem, then they can track it back to to the shop.
Now, one of the things that I thought was interesting is, under the Thai regulations right now, there's this whole system with certificates of authenticity and all this other stuff with the cannabis laws. So, like if you're selling unlicensed, obviously you're not caring about that, and you could just be selling cannabis that was grown with pesticides and not processed properly, and so there's definitely risk with unlicensed selling of these things. Again, I think ideally the best move would be for it to move into the Thai traditional medicine realm and be sold through those outlets, because at least then you have the regulation of the production and the acquisition. People could still buy it for recreational use, but it also limits there from being a shop on every corner unless they become
Control it a little bit would be good.
a million TTMs. Like, I'm all for the recreational use and sale of it. I just don't want 1,000 shops on every soy.
Agree.
Uncle Craig says, I can't find the ocean print batik on silk anywhere. It used to be very popular. Yeah, it did used to be a kind of a, yeah, I haven't seen that in a while either.
Print.
Ed asks, when's the next documentary coming out? Probably a couple months. Next one will be, so there's 2 in the phases right now. There's the Sakyan documentary. That'll definitely be the next to come out. There's a small biopic of Action J. Jackson that I'm working on as well, who's a American drummer for Thai hip-hop bands like Titanium. And he also plays with some jazz bands. He's also the music director for The Boy Way. So he's very involved in the hip-hop scene here in Thailand. And so his story is really interesting. I've been working on that. Then there's the Thai Cannonball Run, which is, we've already filmed the first phase of it. And we've done this ride once. And now in March, there'll be another one that goes down. A bunch of people involved with as well. And luckily a few people have kind of like basically... I had kind of like, there was another YouTuber who I talked about being involved with, and he kept wanting me to make like accommodations and change things for like him and his friends to do it. And it kind of just got to a point where like, I don't need this. And now he wants to do his own thing or whatever, but I'm not too worried about it. I'm just glad he's not involved in mine anymore, to be honest, because like it's really going to be people who commit to the idea. And, we'll have fun doing it. And that just wouldn't have been the case. So it's going to work out good. But yeah, next one in March. And my buddy Sid's involved in that one, which I always like riding with Sid because he's just an awesome guy. One of my closest Thai friends. And then a few other people coming in as well to be part of it. And I think it's going to be a blast. And Uncle Craig, we'll probably, that's early March or mid-March, Uncle Craig. So probably try to swing by your place on the way back again. So hopefully that pizza oven's ready. We'll see what happens. And then I'm also working on a documentary project on boot making. And specifically sort of like a biopic pic of this guy, Don, who's doing the motorcycle boot for me. And Don's a very, very talented bespoke shoemaker, boot maker. And, he's a Scottish guy, came to Thailand, like moved his whole business here, and has got a bunch of craftspeople working for him in this shoe realm. And him and Jib are working on a design collab as well for like this crazy competition shoe that's just like unreally, really wild. Like, I think. So it'll be cool. But yeah, that's so those are the 4 I kind of hope to get out this year. Sakyan, Thai Cannonball, Jay Jackson, bootmaking in Thailand. And those are kind of like the big 4. And then there's some other stuff I'll film this year that I hope to release next year. So like some bigger projects I've been planning over the years that kind of are coming together. So yeah, this is a lot of stuff. But again, like I'm not trying to push out. What I made the choice when I did Ghost Tower was to not produce, like try not to produce a video every week or 3 videos a week or whatever. I don't want to play that game. And I don't want to be like a YouTuber, right? I want to make films and put them out there and take my time producing stuff and tell stories and be able to weave narratives in a way that people find interesting. And so the live streams are kind of like our weekly thing, right? And then we're able to spend time and focus and research on other projects and get more people involved and be more in depth with it. And if I produce one video a year, that's fine. If I produce 4, that's fine as well. Like I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to do like a weekly vlog about nothing, right? Just because I need to put something out there.
Find like a interesting thing every week. That's
a
bit much for us.
And you also like, I think like if you try to do something every week or like multiple a week, like some people do, you end up like just producing stuff that's not quality. And like I see this with other people too, is they chase these numbers and they chase these metrics that don't really matter. Like you have 1,000 subscribers, like why, like I know people who freak out about like, oh, I've only got so many views on this video, it should be more, why isn't it more, what did I do, how can I change it? Like who cares, right? Like if you're not making your living at this, right, and you're doing it as a creative outlet, unplug from the metrics because it'll consume you otherwise. Anyway, back to the chat. Also, what kind of work are you doing in Thailand now? I think you were an engineer prior to coming to Thailand. So, Eddie, yes, I was an engineer, telecom engineer. I have a master's in undergrad and master's in telecom engineering, essentially. So, I don't do that anymore, though. I left that field. Make movies, right? Make my documentaries, and I'm a teacher. So those are my 2 things. And then Jib is an artist and a professional student, so to speak. But so those are kind of like the 2 worlds. I was working in tech for a while in Thailand. I did work in the startup space in tech world for a long, long time when I came to Thailand. And I'm just kind of like kind of done with tech in general. Like I made that decision. I've been teaching since before Thailand, and most of the time I've been in Thailand, I've taught as like sort of like my part-time job as well, like at universities mostly, and just sort of made the decision that that's where I found a lot more enjoyment, and it's a workload I prefer over like when you work in tech, like you're sort of married to that job. Like, babe, it's like when you're in tech, like you're married to that. Like I come home and I stress about it. I'm working all night. And I still work all night now, but I'm working on my own stuff. So it's much easier. And same with Jib. It's, like when you were in research or when you worked at the hospital, right? It's like, or even when we worked so at one point, Jib and I worked at the same faculty at a university. And my job as a teacher was very easy, right? I was a adjunct instructor or adjunct lecturer, I think was my title. And I got the sweetest deal, whereas like they asked me if I wanted to teach, I said no. And the only reason they asked me was because was he the associate dean or assistant dean?
Associate dean?
Yeah, he saw me having lunch with Jib, and he's like, Jib. Who's that Farong you were having lunch with? And she's like, we were dating at the time. She's like, oh, that's my boyfriend. She's like, does he live near here? Does he want to be a teacher? And she's like, well, you don't even know what he does. Like what do you mean? Does he want to be a teacher? He's like, oh, we just need white teachers. And so I went in and met with him, and I was teaching another faculty at the time. And he's like, do you want to be like a full-time teacher here? I was like, no, I'm not interested in being a full-time teacher. I'm also working on my PhD. I've got other stuff to do. And he goes, well, how about part-time? I was like, well, part-time is not enough money to really interest me. He's like, well, what if we pay you a full-time salary, but you work part-time? I was like, well, that I can do. So they instantly, basically I was making more than double Jib's salary to work like 2 days a week. And but like Jib worked in the international affairs division at that campus just by happenstance. That ended up being her job. But she would get calls all night. right? About like ridiculous stuff. Like someone called like, oh, I don't know where I put this paper. And she's like, it's 9 p.m. How am I supposed to know where you put this paper? Don't call me. So, there is that level. And like, even when I was in learning and development and doing like content for an ed tech company, there's an element of demand that you get in those roles, that like you're constantly doing stuff, or they want to do like weekend retreats and workshops. And when you're in education, when you're teaching, if you like teaching, because it's definitely not for everyone, and if you do teach, it's something that you should take seriously, because it's an important job. And if you're not taking the pedagogy and the development of it serious, then you're going to fail at it or be miserable doing it. But the demands on your time outside of your work hours are much, much lower.
When I was research, it's like I come home, I have to read papers.
And then when Jib and work on spreadsheets, which is Jib's favorite thing. Anyway. Ron John, happy you maintain. Hey, thank you, Ron. Yeah, again, it's the process of which you take, right? And everyone's different. But for us, it's like taking deep dives. Uncle Craig says, yeah, bro, I'm down. Oh, it's good because this will be the 10th. Will the 10th work for you? Is when we're doing the run. You can still use the crib even if I'm not there. We'll leave the lights on. Uncle Craig, you rock. Yo, Darren, what's up, brother? How's things? Not using YouTube. You're not using YouTube to be a YouTuber. I guess that's kind of the way to go. Quality, not quantity. Absolutely. That's kind of, when I was doing a lot more video, a lot more content, it never felt satisfying. It never felt like, oh, this is, when I felt like I had to crank out a video every week.
Yeah, I think like a few years ago, you think about that to follow that number and metrics thing that you analyze it.
Yeah, and I got really deep into it, and I was like, oh, it's not satisfying for me to make a video a week. There are people who do it, and they do it really well, and good for them, because they do a great job at it. That's not me, and that's not the type of content I want to make. Mm-hmm. Unplug from the metrics. Now, thanks, Smoke Death. Thanks for sharing the jobs. I always wanted to make the jump to Thailand, but need to muster the courage. So, Eddie, I would say, like, I did it kind of like, I did jump into it pretty quick. But I knew I didn't want to be an engineer anymore, right? So I wasn't worried about carrying my job over and trying to be an engineer in Thailand, which would have been a challenge. I think, you got to like kind of work it out, think about it, and figure out what the best way for you is. But there are definitely options if you want to make it happen. Oh, beaver pelt. Okay.
What's
beaver
that?
pelt. Talking about beavers again. Back to the clam. Yeah.
What's that word mean? Pelt?
Pelt skin. Like the hide of the animal. Like if you wear it as fur. When you work for the man, you are imprisoned. Work for yourself. Yeah, there's some truth to that, but there's also, you can be imprisoned when you do your own thing as well, because you get obligations that can imprison you. Yes. Yeah, of course. When you work, you have to get a work permit. You need a specific type of visa. There's a couple options, right? You can have a non-immigrant B. You can be on a non-immigrant O. And there may be a few others that allow you to acquire a work permit as well. But yeah, if you're going to work legally, you have to have a work permit. And it's not, if you have an employer or you own a business that qualifies to issue a work permit to a foreigner, it is not very difficult of a process. You can go through and be issued a work permit. Yo, Mr. Soros, how's it going? 10th nowhere. All right, boom, lock it in, brother. Get the coal-fired pizzas ready. Fact or false? Has any student Thai used the excuse of my dog ate my homework? Someone, actually, I have had a student say that to me, but they were joking. Yeah, no, you have to, if you own your own business, right? I've never thought of it as being your own boss, right? I always thought about, like, if you own your own business, you serve someone, right? And so like your clients in a sense are your boss, or you answer to them, right? They don't make the decisions on your business, but your clients are in fact, who you answer to, right? You're accountable to them. Your customers, you're accountable to them. And so you've got to hold yourself accountable for the decisions and the actions you take as a company. And you can often be, when you get a big enough company, you then have obligations to your employees. You're accountable to them. You have accountabilities to your partners if you have them, or your shareholders. So it's a different type of obligation than working for someone and having to punch a clock and answer to them and be at their whims. But you're by no means free of obligation in that sense. How long did it take for your handmade boots to be made? What's the ballpark for something like this? So the handmade boots from Don, they're still in process. I mean, I imagine they're pretty much done. But you gotta keep like something like with that. He has a backlog of work because he's such a successful bootmaker and shoemaker. So I think like the time frame for something to be made depends on his backlog at the time. So like, and when me and him first started talking about this, is he was leading into Black Friday, and so he was like preparing like stock for Black Friday. And then he had a very successful Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale, which obviously took, quite a bit of his bandwidth up. And he's got a consistent flow of clientele. And, but that's part of I think that to me, that's one of the nice things about working with craftspeople and artisans who make custom goods is it's not fast fashion, right? It's not instant gratification. Like you're not walking into Uniqlo saying, I like these pants, boom, they're done. Or like, hey, I like these shoes. I've got Nanyang's for that. My Nanyang shoes, like if I need a new pair of sneakers, I order a pair of Nanyang's, they're here the next day, right? Best shoe on the planet, in my opinion. $12 Nanyang classics with the shell toes, best shoe on the planet. Jib, not as much of a fan, but I love them. You like the Zafaris though, right? The all canvas ones with the lightweight sole. Mm-hmm. Yeah, comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, the antique white's nice. The one that we got you. But yeah, so it could be a month. It could be a few months. I think it all depends on what his backlog is at the time. And also, like, keep in mind, like mine, there's like a bunch of like really unique stuff they're doing on mine. Like he's purposely practiced doing the Norwegian storm welt on my boots, which is very unique and something that they had to figure out and learn how to do. So that adds time, right? And then there's all the little nuances. But I think the weight on mine is more because of the experimental side. He also built a whole new style of last for this boot as well. So it's the wide toe box that you would get from a barefoot shoe, but with a heel because it's a motorcycle boot. So there's all of those aspects that go into it. And so that adds time, and he customized. Don's mind when it comes to the boots is really unique in that he can think about it and sort of manage it in that way. And like, we have to do this with the last, and he understands it. Like a master craftsman of any craft, right? He can look at it and figure things out, and then he's also very good at communicating these things back to the customer. So, yeah, really. So how long, I don't know, but like it again depends on his backlog at the time and what his workflow looks like. Ron asked, the customer's always right? No, not always, but you still are accountable to your customer if you're a business owner. Is the customer always right? Definitely not, especially not in a creative. If you're a creative business, the customer definitely may not always be right, but you still have that accountability to them. Like it's complicated, but if you go through a design brief with a customer for a creative project and you work out all the details, you write the brief, they agree to it, but then they're not happy with the outcome, but it still meets the brief, that's a conversation that needs to be had and an output that needs to be managed. But It's a more complicated than, it's not a binary thing, right, wrong. There's layers to it. Joe like says, yeah, the Nanyang is the greatest shoe ever, right, Joe? I mean, I think it's fantastic. Wide, simple, basic, affordable, and high quality. Mine lasts years. And it's a zero rise shoe as well, which is really interesting. Like, you know, when you think about like all shoes that we wear pretty much have an elevated heel, right? Whereas the Nanyangs are flat.
Which one better?
I don't think one's better or worse, but the flat zero rise of the Nanyang with the very flexible rubber sole, I think it strengthens your foot more when you wear that. It's more of a natural way to walk. Whereas if you're out hiking or you're doing something that requires like quite a bit of grip or traction, a heel makes a lot of sense. And if you ever see like firefighter, wildland firefighter boots, they have a really long heel, right? And so that when they're walking down hills, they can dig that heel in, or logger boots are the same way. And you can dig that heel in and not lose your footing going down a hill. When I was an engineer, I worked out in the field a lot. My lineman boots as an engineer had a really long heel because they were made for gaffing. I learned to gaff, but I never like gaffed in the field. We had buckets and stuff, or we would climb ladders. But even then, you have that big heel on your boot for the ladder allows you to lock your foot into the rungs on the ladder so you don't slip off. Even though you see telecom people in Thailand go up bamboo ladders with flip-flops and then walk along the lines, that's not how we do it in the U.S. But, yeah, so there can be benefits to having a heel on your shoe. And I think Dom would be the better person to talk about this. Maybe I'll ask Dom to come on our live stream when the boots are ready and we can have a conversation. But you know, there's elements to the shoe design that work well and some that don't. Talking about shoes, nice transition here. Very smooth transition. Talking about shoes, David Beckham was in Thailand to promote a new sneaker or something. Some new shoe. People lost their shit, right? People went crazy, and he didn't even have Posh with him. Now, if Posh Spice was here, I might have slipped out to say, what's going on with David Beckham? This is Beckham. Where are you? But people went absolutely crazy. Like his popularity is worldwide.
Yes.
Like I can't imagine there are many people that get that kind of turnout. Like he was at one of the malls. I think it was either Central World or Paragon. It was packed. You see the videos of this thing, packed. David Beckham draws a crowd like no one. And I mean, I watch soccer sometimes as a fun sport to watch, but I'm not into it so much that I'm like, oh, I got to see David Beckham. But people were like wearing David Beckham jerseys. They had like his team stuff. Like people were crazy. It's like you would think it was a Blackpink concert. Like I would imagine like the only other person I could imagine having that kind of draw would be like Lisa from Blackpink.
He's very famous.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, all girls will like just scream to just get a magazine with him on the cover photos. Like everyone go to buy it, like sold out quick.
I would say even when I was younger, I didn't even follow soccer, but I knew who David Beckham was. Mm-hmm. So like that's how famous. Like in America,
that's
like where soccer's not a big thing.
Girls here start to watch soccer because Beckham.
Yeah. Beckham body spray. Smells nice. Yeah, Beckham's the Taylor Swift of his era for sure. Like no, he absolutely right. Like people were just going crazy. His popularity, I think it transcends sports. And that's and it transcends language because we know like when you think about language, like he doesn't speak Thai. Vast majority of Thais don't speak English. So like his popularity transcends all of that and like global superstar. But really, I mean, it was pretty wild Tiger Woods. Yeah, Tiger Woods is. I would say he's not even close to as popular as Beckham.
Yeah, not
It's called
same
football.
as Beckham.
Is it football FOOT or football FUT, Darren? Which one is it? FOOT or FUT? Football.
What?
He says it's called football, right? Because everyone in the world except America essentially calls it football, not soccer. I think America and Canada call it soccer, but
So
Canada
football
doesn't
is
really.
American football.
So, but like Canada doesn't really count because there are cities bigger than Canada's population. So, like, great country, awesome neighbors, not so big. But yeah, I wonder, would it be? It's definitely not soccer. Definitely not soccer. Okay, yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. I'll concede that the majority of the world calls it football. Soccer, football is the biggest sport. The biggest by far, yeah. Foot is a dirty word in German, really.
Huh.
So football with a U it is then. I do like Blackpink over David Beckham. Blackpink in your area.
Oh, that's old song there.
Look at you now. Look at me. I talked about this before. I think like when they rap in the Blackpink songs, I think they do it really well, but it's not authentic. Like no one believes Lisa's catching bodies, ever. But God, she can rap so well. It's a bit ridiculous. Soccer. It is funny. Like that sport is so crazy popular. Even in Thailand, like people go crazy for football or soccer, whichever it may be. And Darren, who is a Hail Nomad here, he's a Sheffield Wednesday fan. So any other Sheffield Wednesday supporters out there?
I know this name.
Sheffield Wednesday, really?
Yeah, but never watch it. I'm not a fan of football.
Wednesday or Thursday? Sheffield Wednesday, Sheffield
like,
Thursday. I think it's Wednesday.
I feel like why 11 people, so both sides are 22. Just one ball, like run around with it.
Yeah.
It's like not for me. So the game that I like is like tennis.
Oh, Uncle Craig lived in Sheffield.
Ah.
So it's Sheffield Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah. Relative to foot comment. Wednesday. So I work with someone who's a massive football fan, and we were talking. I think he's a Arsenal supporter, and I was like, oh, one of my friends is a Sheffield Wednesday fan. And he's like, I've never even met one in my whole life, and you know one in Thailand? How is that possible? He was basically trying to clown it, saying that it's an old, like a not popular team. Yo, Gator Jake, have a good one, man. We're gonna wrap up in a little bit, Jake. So no need, but have a great day, brother. And let me know when you're back. I think you said April, right?
Oh, it's hot now in April.
Joe says that Lisa can catch his body. So yeah, the Sheffield Wednesday, I think it's a cool team. I mean, the idea that it's like a small team, right, is kind of cool.
I don't know.
And they're not like a top tier team, and I think that's commitment to the thing. So, but Uncle Craig said that he lived in Sheffield. Did you ever go see a Sheffield Wednesday match when you were living there, Uncle Craig? United Manchester.
Is it Manchester United?
I think it is Manchester United.
So they call it Man U.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Man U. Yeah. Makes sense. Are they red or is Arsenal red? Arsenal's blue?
Right.
Arsenal's also red.
Oh, I don't know. Well, Man U's red.
Okay. I don't know enough about it. Another funny story. There's a video that popped out this week. And a guy in Pattaya was breaking the chain off of his breaking the chain off of his bike after he got locked up for illegal parking. And so someone filmed him and like posted it online. He's using a brick to smash the lock. That's just not the best way to do this. But two, don't park illegally. So apparently the guy got reported, had to go into the police station, got fined. But like, he could have just showed up and paid like the 500 baht fine for parking illegally, been on his way. Without having, he probably have to pay more than that now and spend a day in the police, probably whining to the cameras to say how sorry he was. And also, you're giving us a bad rep, man. Don't park illegally. Find a place to park. In Pattaya, there's a lot of parking. And two, just don't do stupid stuff, right? It's not hard. It's not hard. Sometimes it's hard, but normally it's not hard to not do stupid stuff. TJ McD, MS in telecom engineering here, about 30 years in. Time to pass the torch, AI, cloud, VM, too old for this. Yeah, it definitely has changed a lot. I haven't worked in telecom in a decade, TJ. So I used to work on a lot of fiber HFC distribution. And then the last part of my career, I worked on a lot of L2, L3 design and build. So Metro E, BGP, CMTS, all of that was really my wheelhouse. Yeah, so it's been a minute. I did a lot of fiber muck stuff back in the day, but yeah, I was happy to get out of it. I mean, mostly the job was good, and there was still like a lot of challenging parts to it, technology-wise, but the structure of the job was changing over time and becoming more corporate and less of an engineer role, more of a technician role, just the way it was being structured at my job. So that's kind of why I was happy to get out of it. 25K attendance at home games. So not so small, Darren, not so small. Black and gold. Never saw soccer there. I was in the motorcycle racing world, but later lived in Wales playing soccer under the lights at Cardiff National every Thursday. Oh, yeah. Later, man. Bye. Bye. Grandma and granddaughter heading out for the day. Can you really consider yourself an expat if you never had a photo taken of you pointing at something in the police station?
I will see yours first, Frank.
What will Frank get busted for?
I don't know.
It's going to be something Texas related. Illegal importation of Buc-ee's products. Buc-ee's that like gas station in Texas that he likes. He's got all the big cups, the Buc-ee's cups. I say yes. NFL football is the only. Bye, Mom. Actually, I find soccer much more entertaining than American football. Have you ever tried to watch American football, babe?
Yeah, and I don't understand. Like, have to throw the ball
forward.
Something like they have to pass the ball to the back.
That's rugby when you pass. Oh, so football, they spike it back. Quarterback goes back
and throws
or hands it off.
Something, and then when like group of people stop.
Oh, you're thinking of rugby.
No. And then they stop, and then they say something in yard, which is we don't use the word yard. Yeah. It's like how far, and then they have to start from that, and like I don't know. It's just like it's not fun for me.
It's definitely it's a very slow sport. In my opinion.
It's like a big guy wear the gear, like the guard, the shield, and like hit each other. Yeah. That's it. So I just know that.
It's very short intervals of intense action, followed by long periods of waiting for the next interval of intense action. There's a lot of strategy that plays out.
That I understand.
But I don't find it an entertaining thing to watch. Soccer, on the other hand, is very fast and entertaining. Same reason rugby is more interesting, I think, to watch.
I like racket sport.
NBA, same thing. NBA is a great sport to watch live or on TV because it's so fast.
Not for me either.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Like rugby union or American football, so better. I don't know that American football is better. I think it just depends what you like, what you grew up with, right? Rugby union. Which one? Rugby union is is that like sevens? I'll have to see the fat man score. They hike the ball, a quarterback, a complicated play. Yeah, the plays can be very complex, right? Like the strategy that plays out over the 4 quarters of a football game is very complex in many ways. However, to watch it unfold is not the most interesting thing generally if you're not into the strategy of it. I think soccer, rugby, racket sports, things that are much faster paced are easier for casual viewers to watch, in my opinion. We're photographed with the owner handing her 20,000 baht as compensation. Owner of... Wait, did I miss a comment from you, Frank? I don't think so. Owner of what? What were you compensating? Of a person? I declined to play on the community rugby community team in Wales. That's why I'm still alive today.
Really? Is that bad for rugby?
Yeah, it's high contact. High contact. I played rugby at university. I liked it. I played in high school too for 3 years, and then I played in university. You may not enjoy it. I'm definitely... Actually, funny story. Every time I've played golf, I've been injured. So every time I play golf, I injure this muscle on my rib cage. I guess it's back muscle technically. And I pull it, and then I can't breathe for like 2 weeks. So I've stopped. You know, I've had more injuries attempting to play golf. I won't even see playing golf, attempting to play golf. I've had more injuries in attempting to play golf than I did as a professional fighter. So just keep that in mind.
You need to swing, right? At golf.
Yeah.
So with just your thick body, not
ideal for it. Yeah. Slowest game I ever watched cricket, although cricket matches and some cricket can last days and days, right? You may have scrubbed the first. It might be automatically. I didn't see anything that got flagged though pop up in the chat, Frank. You may be correct about entertainment. And nope. Well, you wear a mouth guard and a cup. I mean, that's it. I was with a girl that got touched inappropriately during a massage by a... What? This is going off the rails, Frank. Rugby is fun to play or watch. Rugby's both. I liked playing rugby. I like watching rugby. So coming up March 3rd is Gypsy Beach Camp, which is a great motorcycle and music festival. Jib has declined to go yet again for the 2nd year in a row. Sure you don't want to go? You can change your mind.
Join it.
Nice long day on the hot beach in Hoi Hin. Motorcycles racing up and down the beach. Live music all night long? No? Okay. You can stay home and knit or paint during the day, and then I'll come get you and bring you back for the concert. No? Okay. So, last year, one of the best concerts I'd ever seen. Outdoor concert, right? So it's not like overwhelmingly loud. And, you know, cheap food as well, like for a festival, like reasonably priced food. Like what you would... like maybe 20% over street food prices versus like a lot of festivals is like 80, like you might spend $100 having lunch. Whereas here, Sid and I last year had lunch for like 150 baht each in festival food. That's with like drinking a smoothie and I think I got pad thai for like 65 baht, which is pretty close to normal prices. But I did pay 100 baht for French fries. So, I mean, it tells you my priorities nutritionally. Overall, great experience, great time. I'm really looking forward to going back this year. The races are great. Drag racing up and down the beach, and the paddock is open to the public. So you can walk the paddock, which is where all the bikes stage up, and see all the vintage Harleys and vintage bikes that people race at the event. Last year there was a great Honda thing. I actually won the Honda time trial last year, racing a Honda Monkey 6 laps around this little mini course and got a free drinking bottle. So that was awesome. And actually they wrote my name as Pee-me. And so I had to go back and they're like, oh, Pee-me. So I'll be interested to see if Honda's there again. Even crazier than rugby, Australian footy league, a mix of rugby and kind of... Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, that's where they spin the ball and bounce it and catch it back. And then, I've seen that. The police made us take a photo with her handing my friend 20,000 baht so they could close the case. Oh. Gotcha. Okay, interesting. You still have that photo, Frank? That should be your profile pic for sure. Yeah. Arbitration, yeah. Hoi Hin is a spot I'm interested in. Hey, Seth, man, book a ticket for March. Come out here and come down to the festival. All right, man. Hey, have a good one, Ron. Enjoy brunch. 700 baht for a trash burger at UK festival. Oh my God.
Holy, expensive.
700 baht festival burger. Yeah, so all the vendors last year at Gypsy Beach Camp were like Thai food. And so like really good pad Thai. There was a burger shop and they had veggie burgers, which I did get one of the veggie burgers. And I think I got it like later in the day because we were hungry after like walking around the races all day. And the veggie burger was 200 baht, which is a bit on the expensive side for a burger in Thailand. But again, it's a festival burger. And it was stacked with it was so good. It really hit the spot. Even Sid he tried the veggie burger. He was like, wow, it's really good. It was just a random burger truck at the thing. So, and then fruit smoothies were 80 baht. A bit expensive, but not bad for fruit smoothie at a festival and fresh fruit. And it was like all fruit. It's not like, 2 pieces of fruit and ice. It was pure fruit.
Okay.
And I was doing mango over and over and over again because it's so good. But yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been to some other festivals in Thailand and I've seen of other festivals like Wonder Fruit's one that's kind of famous for being overpriced on everything. Especially food. But yeah, I've been to other ones in Thailand where stuff was crazy priced, but the Gypsy Beach Camp, because it's just such like a cool vibe, like it's motorcycle people and then like great music, and the people who organize it are like just like really into those two worlds, music and motorcycles, and they just want a community event, it feels like, and everything just comes together. How about futsal? I've seen the games. I've never actually watched one like on TV or like watched the whole thing, but I see people playing that all the time.
It needs like
it's like football on a basketball court, right?
It's like smaller field.
I think it's the same size as a basketball court.
Maybe.
It's hard top, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Not grass.
Yeah. It's very fast looking. Yeah. Gator says his nephew is a champion futsal player, now plays for RTA team. Oh, what's RTA team? Is that like professional team?
What's this, university team?
Maybe. I know a place where you can spend 700 baht for some great white strawberry. Yeah, Keone yesterday had these white strawberries that were 700 baht. They were really good though. Like, you got them at Lotus. Is that also the musician? I was not provided with a copy of the photo. Oh, you missed out. I'm definitely getting comments scrubbed. I tried to say that the guy found himself as receiving end of some karma. Hand shop. Really? Let me see. Here we go. Oh. Can I...
What are you doing?
I was going to try to add Frank as an admin so his comments don't get scrubbed, but it's not popping up. All right, I'll add you later as an admin, Frank, so your comments don't get scrubbed out. I trust you. Anything fresh or related to fruit is banned from UK
Oh
festivals.
no.
There's so I found this YouTube channel of I don't normally watch cooking content, but there's this British guy making making cooking videos where he was saying, and they're all like sort of like goofy parody videos, but he was saying that he's embracing the UK's strong, proud heritage of colonization and claiming foods of other countries for the UK. So he'll make like another country's famous dish and then put a little UK flag on it and say now it's officially a British food. So funny. Oh, Royal Thai Army.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice. It's like arena soccer. The soccer ball is a bit smaller and heavier, so it doesn't travel far. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Density is also banned from UK. Dentistry. Ooh, okay. Oh, it's going to get nasty in the chat. And I think with that, it's about time that we wrap it up, babe. What do you think? Before my UK subscribers and American subscribers start fighting over, dental hygiene and the proper referring to the sport that you kick a ball with your feet versus the egg-shaped ball that you play with your hands. So I think with that, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you to everyone for rocking with us today. We had a great live stream. A lot of fun. Much appreciated. And, we'll see you guys next week. We'll come back with some more updates and hopefully some more interesting news stories and sporting discussions to spark the conversation. Thank you again. We'll see you guys next week.